Well, hello, I'm Louise Webster, and this is my presentation for EDM8013. So, examining student motivation and disengagement, how self-efficacy and mass anxiety impact the design and technologies classroom. So, what causes disengagement? There are many interconnected problems that lead to student disengagement with numerical concepts. So the most relevant ones that I'm looking at today are low self-efficacy. So this stems from students' lack of belief in their own ability. I'm also looking at mass anxiety, which can stem from a number of reasons. Often it relates to previous poor performance and low self-efficacy. Students who suffer from low self-efficacy are more likely to be female and come from a rural area. It's important to look at common attitudes throughout history, which have focused on boys being better at maths than girls. So children can internalize these attitudes that they see from their parents or their teachers and then apply it to themselves. Subjects such as home economics, which comes under the brackets of design and technologies, are generally thought of as non-academic. So students do not think that they will have to use these numeracy skills in this subject. Mass anxiety is more likely to affect female students, students who come from a low socioeconomic background, and students from rural areas. Now, students who have mass anxiety are not necessarily worse at maths than their peers. It's also separate to general anxiety, as it only presents with concepts related to numeracy. Teachers who experience maths anxiety themselves are also more likely to pass it on to their students inadvertently. So this means that teachers need to be careful to present a positive outlook on numeracy to their students. So, numeracy in design and technologies. Numeracy is a general capability and so should be present in every class. I focused on two key knowledge and understanding strands, food and fibre production and food specialisation. So this is in the curriculum. Numeracy comes through in a large aspect of these strands. So through things such as measuring ingredients, converting measurements such as from imperial to metric, things such as estimating fabric usage when cutting out a pattern. And then when we look at diverse learners, we've already identified that female students, low socioeconomic background students, and students from a rural area are more likely to be affected. It's also important to examine Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders' engagement with numeracy. So it's been identified that mathematics is a subject where there's still a discrepancy between Indigenous and non-Indigenous students, and this relates to numeracy, so it's important to look out for in your class. Now, when we look at drivers of curriculum reform, we can see the changes in numeracy as a general capability that have come from version 8.4 of the curriculum into version 9. So originally you can see the 6 strands, and now it's been sorted down into 3, which then have their own sub-strands. The Closing the Gaps platform shows what things need to change within the curriculum. When it's looking at literacy and numeracy in Indigenous students and how that gap needs to close, it has recommendations of how in general we can improve that. Now, we also have numeracy in the 21st century. That's an excellent pedagogical tool to use. So the 4 key elements are promotion of positive dispositions, application of mathematical knowledge, attention to real-life concepts, and use of representational, physical, and digital tools. So these elements are all linked under critical orientation, and it's a really valid resource to use in the design and technologies classroom. So, what does this all mean? Numeracy is a large part of design and technologies, and often comes in the form of content that is irrelevant to students' future lives. So emphasis needs to be placed on relevancy and promotion of numeracy. It's not just something involving maths, but something that matters in student lives. Using appropriate pedagogical approaches and strategies will support students, especially diverse learners. Cool. So thank you. I look forward to seeing everyone's presentations.